make this video because, well, I'm nervous to make YouTube videos, but hi everyone, my name is Taylor and I am from the blog, I forgot what my blog name was. The Simple Main Kitchen, and today I'm going to be making the best homemade granola. My husband and myself eat it all the time, and it's really simple, and I just want to show you how easy it is to make this granola. And the thing is I don't usually measure this. I usually kind of eye it, I pour in my ingredients, and we're using a couple different things today, but I pour in my ingredients, I eye it, I mix it all together, and then I throw it into the oven. So I'll give you some actual measurements that will help you actually be able to make this. But you kind of get the gist of it. After you make it for such a long time, you really don't need to measure it. You'll just be able to see from your eye how much of each ingredient that you need. So it's super easy. Oh, I forgot to put flaxseed out, one of my beloved ingredients. So let's get going. I think it's going to be a fun one today. So I do have to say, I use granola. We love to use granola usually in place of something like cereal. We love cereal. I love cereal. My husband Andrew loves cereal. But this is a great option. It's a little bit healthier. It still has some sugar in there. So you have to be careful about how much you're consuming. But it's a great option instead of cereal because you know what's going into it, you know how much is going into it, and you know the quality of the ingredients that is going into this. So I like to use it in place of cereal. You can put some berries on top, pour some milk on top, or I like to use it on top of yogurt. I love making a yogurt bowl with yogurt, some honey, frozen blueberries, and granola on top with a little bit of cacao nibs. That's delicious as well. Or you could I was even thinking you could make like a quick apple crisp with granola on top. You could chop up some apples, mix the ingredients that you need into the apples, some lemon, a little bit of flour, a little bit of cinnamon, brown sugar, and then you could bake that with some granola on top, and you wouldn't even have to make a topping. So maybe we'll do that sometime. But today, let's get going with our granola. Turn your oven on to 425 degrees. We're going to get a nice large bowl that we can easily mix in. I like to use my largest stainless steel bowl because I like to kind of mix all the edges up once we add the rest of the ingredients in. 2, 3, 4 cups of oats. Unsweetened, fine shredded coconut. This is for macaroons. I'm going to use it for granola. Shredded coconut is so expensive at the grocery store, so if you want to check out my other video, I kind of talked through some different things that I got off of Azure, whatever it's called. So we did 2 cups of the fine shredded coconut, and I didn't measure this out ahead of time because I'm not the best at planning. You can ask my husband. Some small cashew pieces, and these are raw cashew pieces, which I also got in Azure, standard. And we are going to add 1 cup of cashews. Let's see, we're going to do 2 cups of cashew. So 2 cups of cashew pieces. Just kind of going in and mixing it up with my hands because I'm going to be honest with you, I like cooking with my hands. Just make sure you wash your hands ahead of time. And if you don't, just don't tell the people that you're cooking for that you didn't wash your hands. Just kidding. And now we are going to add some dried cranberries to this. I like the way that dried fruit adds some texture into my, not texture, but like it's just chewy in the granola, and I like some crunchiness in my granola, and I like some chewy parts in my granola. So we're going to add 2 cups of the dried cranberries. I am also going to add a good amount of flaxseed to this. I eat flaxseed because I have high cholesterol, and flaxseed's just good for you anyways. So, no, 2/3 cup. 2/3 cup flaxseed. Okay, so now we will be mixing together probably my favorite and the most important part of granola making, which is a fat. You need a fat. You need a fat to make granola. So you can use something like coconut oil, or you could use something like butter, or you could even use ghee, which is just a different form of butter. And then we're going to use honey, which is our sweetener, and this is going to help to bind everything together, and when you bake it, it's going to get everything nice and crispy and beautiful. And my secret ingredient, and I've been making granola with my mother for a very long time. Side note, my mom almost started her own granola company, and this was like, we were really into CrossFit and eating paleo, and she was going to call it Paleonola or something like that. So if you steal that name, you need to give my mom credit. We didn't end up doing it, but we made and tested a lot of different granola. So we've made a lot of granola together. And the one ingredient I love in my granola is some cocoa powder. I add this right into the fat and the sweetener when I'm melting it down, and I whisk it all together, and it just makes the granola that much more delicious. So let's make it. I'm going to use about a cup of coconut oil. So let's go ahead and get this measured out. And I love getting my coconut oil, and if I'm buying anything that's like Bob's Red Mill, or they carry a lot of stuff there. I like to get it from Ocean State because they have organic items, and it's a lot cheaper than the grocery store. I'm just using a mason jar, and if you didn't know, mason jars have little notches on them. You probably can't see this in the video, but they have little notches on them that help you measure out a cup. So let's go ahead and pour it in. I used about a cup of honey. Heaping tablespoons, and I think one more. So we'll do 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Okay, so once you have heated up your honey and your coconut oil is melted down, all mixed together, and the cocoa powder is dissolved into that, you are going to pour this delicious chocolatey mixture right on top of your oats cranberry nut mixture that you have in this bowl here. Go ahead and line a very large pan with some parchment paper and dump this right onto the pan. So now what you're going to do, I'm going to have to use an extra pan, but you are going to spread this out all over the pan, okay? And you are going to press it. So you're going to push it all down, pat it, so everything gets nice and close together. We don't want the oats being alone. I'm going to get my other pan and press down the remainder that I have. Got my other pan here, and I'm gonna line this. Press this down. Get this ready to bake. It's just so good. We're gonna put these in the oven, and they're gonna bake. This smaller one's probably gonna bake for a little bit less time, but they're gonna bake anywhere from, let's say, 13 minutes to 20 minutes. I usually pull them out around this 15 to 16 minute mark. It really depends on your oven, how fast or how hot your oven gets. If it's accurate, if it's not accurate. Mine runs a little on the cooler side. So I think about 16 minutes is going to be good for our granola today, but we'll check that. So the smaller pan looks done, and it's been about 12 minutes for the smaller pan. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to leave the smaller pan in there for maybe one more minute. And the larger pan is getting there as well. We're gonna let it cook for a couple more. The timer! Okay. So if you don't get your granola all the way to the edge of the pan, the edges of your granola are going to get dark and look semi-burnt. So just bear that in mind. So what I'm going to do is, it's a little cooler outside than it is in the kitchen right now. So I'm actually going to set the granola outside, let it cool off, and then I'll break it up and put it in my jars afterwards. We'll utilize the weather here. We live in Maine and it's very cold, so if we ever make something and need it to cool off, we are always putting it outside or in our breezeway. I don't worry about stuff flying into it. If you do, then don't do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and just, the parchment paper is nice because you can just like lift it up and get a big chunk of it. And then in a large container, you're just gonna break up pieces of it, throw it in there. This is really yummy. Also, am I in this?
Yeah. You can focus now. You stay all. Yes, yes.
Here. So it looks like it's chewy granola, but it's not. I just wanted, I was getting impatient, so I just broke it up, and it's still warm. So as you can maybe hear, the edges of it are very crispy. So it will get nice and crispy once it cools down. So that's that. This will make about probably 3 of these containers if I have 3 of them. So it makes a lot of granola. But you can eat it, I think we usually eat ours in about a week and a half. What'd you say, Andrew? You eat it fast.
Well, that's true.
Sometimes you've eaten it in a week. So yeah, this makes a lot of granola. It lasts for, I'd probably try to eat it within 2 weeks. If you want to make a big batch like this, you could just put some of the granola in a freezer bag and stick it in the freezer, and it will last a lot longer. And that's about it. So thanks for watching.